Team number 3. And the infamous player that I like to call the best fantasy player in our league, Ryan. It was good to see you when you came down, Ryan, and I actually enjoyed seeing you. I wish I could see you more often. As far as draft goes, I'm really torn. There's a lot of different ways to go. So, I guess we'll just have to start, again, going first round, 18th round, my thoughts on what I think you did and what I think you need to do. So first round, you take Odell Beckham Jr. in the first round, 12 overall. Man, I would not have taken him there, but credit to you because he is one of the most polarizing players in fantasy. When he plays, oh my gosh, he is outstanding. I've mentioned a few times about Holly's team, how she is the outlier, but outliers do happen, and Odell Beckham Jr. that year was incredible. He played 14 games. He was averaging 22.5 points a game. It was just absolutely nuts. She beat me one week, and he scored 35 points in the playoffs, and there was nothing I could do. And it was just, I lost, but, it was awesome to see him just, absolutely go bananas. So, if you could tell me Odell Beckham Jr. was going to be healthy the entire season, which I don't know if he is because he's missed 12 games in 12 games in the last 3 years or so, 3 or 4 years, 12 games. It's a lot of games. But if you could tell me he's going to play all 16, take that to the bank. He's amazing. So, especially now, they have Pat Shurmur, and, they drafted Saquon Barkley, so, Barkley's going to get some touches in red zones. But Beckham's the offense. You pay him, you make him the highest paid wide receiver for a reason. He's the offense. He's the player. He's the guy. You got to feed him. You got to feed him a lot. And so, if he's healthy, I think that he'll probably be the number 1 receiver in fantasy. I know DeAndre Hopkins was great last year, and you picked up DeAndre Hopkins in the second round, so we're about to get to that. But, Odell Beckham's a monster. Average a touchdown a game, get 100 yards a game for 16 games, monster. So, I don't love the pick because I don't like the injury risk, especially in the first round. That's super risky, and that's why I feel like you did this whole draft. This is a super risky draft. But credit to you for just, sucking it up and just going for it. Because in the second round, it worked out, and you did get DeAndre Hopkins. So, you have the best, instantly, boom, you have the best receiving core in the league. Only other person who has a say, maybe Joe, but we'll get to him later. But your receiving core is awesome because you have those two guys. They could be the top 2 receivers in football, and you don't have to have a worry about it. And maybe, it's not great at running back. We're going to get to that in a second. But, Hopkins, oh my gosh, Hopkins was a monster last year. It was his second top 5 fantasy wide receiving year in the last 3 years. The year, I think, what was it, in between, he was 25th or so. But yeah, he led all wide receivers in targets. He had 170. He had the most TD receptions. I know that number's 13. And he was really close with Antonio Brown the whole season, and he was getting double-digit scores. And it's even scarier to consider he has Deshaun Watson back. And in those 6 games with Watson, he was unbelievable. He had 550 yards in 6 games and 6 scores with Watson. They only played 6 games together. If you could tell me that Watson was going to play at the level he played at last year with Hopkins, Hopkins might be better than almost every other running back kind of scores. So the fact that you got Odell Beckham Jr. and DeAndre Hopkins in the first round is fascinating to me. That should not have happened. Someone should have taken Hopkins. I don't know why Charlie took Julio Jones before you in the first round. I don't know why. I understand why Brian and Patrick did what they did. I get it. I went through their videos. This is yours. But man, Hopkins is so good. And to get him with Odell Beckham Jr., that is the perfect fall through option. So that's, it's super risky because I don't know if they're going to be able to do what they did, basically what Odell Beckham did 3 years ago and what DeAndre Hopkins did last year. But man, that upside is crazy. In the third round, now you're kind of paying for taking that upside because now you got Marshawn Lynch. And we got John Gruden as the coach, and he just traded Khalil Mack in what was a terrible trade, by the way. And he just cut Martavis Bryant in another terrible trade. He traded for A.J. McCarron to be a backup in another terrible trade. So I'm not totally sure John Gruden's a good coach right now. But if we go back to his Tampa Buccaneer offenses, which is 10 years ago, it's a long time now. Those offenses were West Coast run-heavy offenses. The Michael Pittmans, Cadillac Williams. So, and to Lynch's credit, even though he was retired for a year and came back, he was fifth best in yards after carry last year. I think it was like 2.5 yards after contact. Yeah, 2.5 yards after contact last year. Fifth best in the football. So he is now 32, 33 years old. But, I mean, they didn't play him on the preseason. He sat out a year. Yeah, he is 32. He doesn't catch the ball a whole lot. But man, oh man, he is the best running back John Gruden's ever had in his career. Like, ever. Okay, I remember when John Gruden made Charlie Gardner like almost an MVP type of running back in like 1998. Like 20 years ago. And Lynch is far and away better. So, if they feed him properly, if we're talking like they give him 25 carries, 20 carries a game, Lynch has the potential to be an outstanding running back. I don't know if he's going to be like beast mode, top 1 or 2 running backs, because I don't know if he's going to get the volume, and he's not going to get the receptions, but for your number 1 running back to get in the 3rd round, considering what was around you, like, Brandon Cooks, T.Y. Hilton, Alshon Jeffrey, Doug Baldwin, I mean, those guys were the 4 picks basically around you in that round. And they're all receivers. And I like Lynch better than all of them. So the fact that you got him is pretty crazy to me that was allowed to happen. I don't know who allowed that. But, credit for you for getting an outstanding player. I had him on my team last year. And down the stretch, when they just decided, like, you know what? Marshawn Lynch seems pretty good. We should just give him the ball a lot. Yeah, he's really good. He's still really good. He shouldn't have been drafted in the 3rd round. He should have been drafted in the 2nd round because if he gets the volume, he's a top 10 running back. Easy. It's no questions asked. All he needs is the ball a lot by the goal line. Give him the ball. Don't get pretty with David Carr. Give him the ball. So don't do the Russell Wilson thing and throw the ball at the goal line. Give him the ball. Good pick. Very good pick. Very safe pick. But then he kind of got boxed in because he took Kerryon Johnson in the 4th round. And that was probably 2 rounds early. Like, do I like Kerryon Johnson's potential? Yes. He was taken the 2nd round. He looked good at Auburn. He was probably the best back in the SEC last year. He can block. He can catch out of the backfield. I think he's like 5'11", 6 feet tall. He's pretty stout. But man, like, Detroit is terrible at running the ball. Their offensive line's terrible. They have like a whole bunch of running backs. Like Amir Abdul was a 2nd round pick like years ago, and he's still there. We signed with Garrett Blunt to take all the goal line carries. Theo Riddick's the 3rd down back, so he's catching the ball. So where exactly does Kerryon Johnson fit in that? I don't know. Like, that is a backfield of doom. That's like a Patriots backfield with just a whole bunch of guys. But the problem is they don't actually feed them enough. Like, it's Matthew Stafford or bust. So the fact that he's your number 2 running back is not very exciting. He's a bench guy because he's not. I like his talent. I don't like his situation. Being in Detroit, they don't run the ball. They don't have good run blockers. Theo Riddick catches the ball in the backfield. Well, Garrett Blunt's going to take those goal line touches. If you could conceivably convince me that Kerryon Johnson, if he's the guy and there's a backup, he gets like 1,000 yards. But I don't see it, not in the committee. And if I don't see 1,000 yards, and you're going to tell me he's going to get under 6 touchdowns, that's a flex or a bench player, man. That's a reach. You reached, and I understand why, because you kind of got screwed because you took OBJ and you took Hopkins, so you need to take running backs, and everyone around you, just I mean, it's tough. I love having OBJ and Hopkins, but if you're getting like 4 points out of Kerryon Johnson, it wasn't worth it. So hopefully it works out for you, but I think that's a reach. It's not a good pick. Then you took Deshaun Watson. I had Deshaun Watson. He was averaging 27 points a game last year at quarterback, which is the best since basically Michael Vick in 2011 for a 5-game sample size. And he was outstanding. And he might win the MVP this year if he does that. And there's still upside to be had, even if he's not as incredible as he was, because I think his defense will be better. He's not going to get in those crazy Russell Wilson 45, 42 shootouts. But he has 2 ACL tears in like the last 4 years roughly now. We're 2018, so 2014. So yeah, 2 ACL tears in 4 years. The defense is better. And quarterbacks, it's not, okay. Can Deshaun Watson possibly be the MVP of this year? Yes. But could Drew Brees possibly be the MVP of this year? Yeah. Could Tom Brady be the MVP again this year? Yeah. I don't like betting on quarterbacks because there's so many of them. You can just play roulette. Like, I got Deshaun Watson on free agency last year, and for 6 weeks, he was the best quarterback and best player in fantasy, and it was fantastic. And that's why I took him in the 5th round. So I kind of get it. But, like, if he's not that, then you just waste a 5th round pick, and you can just go you can pick up Jared Goff, but you still just waste a 5th round pick on a quarterback who's not very good when you needed something else like a flex or tight end. So, I don't love the pick. I love Deshaun Watson. I think he's fabulous, but you're going to have a hard time convincing me it's worth taking a quarterback before round 6, man. Like, that's just not... I have a small sample size. I have a guy with 2 ACL tears. I love DeAndre Hopkins, but, like, Lamar Miller's not very good. A newsflash, I don't love Will Fuller either. He kind of he runs forever, but he doesn't actually, he doesn't have steady hands. Watson, you should have taken him here. You probably, honestly, you could have waited. You could have waited around. You probably should have just taken some depth piece or something. Like Carson Wentz was taken in this round. That's not a good pick either, because that guy's hurt. He's going to miss games. Like, you shouldn't be taking quarterbacks this high, because you don't know. You just don't know if they're going to be any good. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, I picked up Deshaun Watson for free. The year before, I picked up Matt Ryan for free. Like, Matt Ryan won the MVP when I picked him up for free. Like, I don't know why you're spending a 5th round pick on a guy. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, there's just as much chance Drew Brees is the MVP as Deshaun Watson. I don't get it. You took Jimmy Graham, 6th round. Another high-risk, high-reward pick. On the one hand, you could say, oh, Jimmy Graham. Aaron Rodgers has never had a player as good as Jimmy Graham at tight end. I guess that's true. I mean, but Jared Cook, Jermichael Finley, Martellus Bennett, I mean, those guys aren't scrubs. They're good players. And Aaron Rodgers didn't use them when they were there. I mean, I suppose, yeah, Jordy Nelson's gone, so you need a red zone target. But that makes Graham like a boom or bust red zone guy. That means he's either got to score a touchdown in the game to be worth it, and if he doesn't, he's not seeing enough volume. So, while he's on one of the top offenses, and he did score 10 touchdowns last year, and he got the most end zone targets. I think it was like 19 end zone targets, which is a lot. He needs to score to be worth it. He doesn't get yards like he used to. He's not nimble anymore. Ever since he tore his knee, he doesn't have that separation speed. He can still be really physical, but he needs to score touchdowns. And having I don't love the pick. I don't like taking a tight end who needs to score touchdowns, because everybody needs to score touchdowns. Like, I can say that about most of the tight ends. If they score touchdowns, they're great. If they don't, they're not. Like, I would have rather taken someone who I know is going to get consistent production and see a lot of targets like Greg Olsen than, say, like Jimmy Graham. Like, Evan Ingram was drafted in this round. I don't love Evan Ingram. I think I gave Brian a hard time for taking Evan Ingram. But Evan Ingram has more upside than Jimmy Graham because, like, Evan Ingram's in his second year on an offense that's on the trajectory. Jimmy Graham's on offense with Aaron Rodgers, which is great, but they don't really use a tight end that much. So I don't love the pick. I don't think Jimmy, he's not the same. It's more name than anything else. If you could tell me Jimmy Graham of old, 2012 Jimmy Graham was here, yeah, awesome. But that's not Jimmy Graham anymore. He's slow, no separation, physical, gets a lot of red zone targets, but I don't know if the Packers are going to use him right. So don't love the pick. Next pick, Sonny Michel, another pick. Don't love it. Yes, Bill Belichick took him in the first round. You know who else Bill Belichick took as a running back in the first round? Lawrence Maroney, about 10 years ago. You know anything about that guy? Exactly, you don't. Michel's fast. He's quick. I guess quick's the better word. He's quick. He's physical. He's a good player. But like Kerryon Johnson, he's in a timeshare. Like, there's a reason he fell this far. James White's the receiving back. Okay. Well, maybe we can carve out a role around the goal line. Nope, that's Rex Burkhead. Okay. Well, maybe he can get some yards for first downs. No, that's Jeremy Hill. Well, then what is Sonny Michel going to do? I don't know. I don't know what Sonny Michel's going to do. And that's why I don't love the pick. If you could tell me he's the goal line guy like Garrett Blunt 2 years ago and scoring 26 touchdowns, awesome. Great pick. Super. He's going to be awesome. He's going to get the ball. I can't promise you that because I don't know. The problem with Belichick and running backs is he gets a bunch of them and they all can play, but you never know their usage. Mike Gillislee scored 3 touchdowns in the first game last year and he looked outstanding. He scored 1 touchdown the rest of the season. He's on the Saints now. So, like, I don't know what role Sonny Michel is going to play. And you're rolling the dice on a guy at running back because you need a running back. You don't know his role. That's not good. Like, Duke Johnson plays for the Browns, right? Duke Johnson doesn't run the ball very well. But Duke Johnson catches passes. Duke Johnson got a contract extension. Duke Johnson looked good in the preseason. They talk about getting him the ball. Like, Duke Johnson's looked great. Duke Johnson was drafted in the same round. Duke Johnson was a better pick than Sonny Michel. And I can't believe I'm saying a Browns pick was better than a Patriots pick. But for fantasy purposes, for this round, Duke Johnson was a better pick than Sonny Michel because I know what Duke Johnson's role is. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to be a third down back. I don't know what Sonny Michel's role is. I mean, if he can carve out a role around the goal line, which is what he really needs to do instead of Burkhead, it's a good pick. But he's been injured. I think he got his knee. He got fluid drained from his knee. Like, these are worrying signs. He was run pretty hard in Georgia, and he was there quite a while. He's a flex running back. So you happen to have him at flex, that's good. But that you have him and Kerryon Johnson, you're really hoping one of them hit. Because you're really hoping one of them come out of the committee and they're just like, oh man, they're really good. But I don't know, man. I don't know. They're really talented, but that's not why guys get the ball. Alfred Morris is a starting running back in Washington. Is it because he's super talented? No. It's because he knows the offense of Kyle Shanahan. Is Sonny Michel going to learn that complicated Tom Brady, Bill Belichick offense? I don't know, man. So, don't love the pick. Oh, I hate the next pick. See, you're taking these rookie running. Like, you got Kerryon Johnson, Sonny Michel, and Ronald Jones. Like, this is Ronald Jones. You've taken 3 rookie running backs. I know, literally, there's, like, nothing about, okay? But you know what? At least Kerryon Johnson and Sonny Michel see the ball. Ronald Jones looks horrible. He doesn't catch. He doesn't pass block. They talk about how explosive he is, and he gets negative yardage. It doesn't matter if you can run a 4.40 in shorts. If I put pads on you and you just run straight into people's arms, like, that doesn't matter. Speed is good if you know how to use it. Quickness is good if it allows you to create separation. Ronald Jones is not good at football. Like, I watched him at USC. Like, he's explosive. If he can get to the second level, he can break one open. But he doesn't know how to do that. Like, he doesn't have the vision. He doesn't have, like, he has the talent, but he doesn't really know how to use it. Like, the quickness, like, the escapability, the patience of Le'Veon Bell. Like, if you've ever seen Le'Veon Bell play, Super patient. That's why the Bengals took Joe Mixon. He's just like Le'Veon Bell. You know why the Detroit Lions took Kerryon Johnson? Because Kerryon Johnson is agile. Kerryon Johnson, for all his height, he has pretty good vision. He's able to create. All right? Sonny Michel, you know why Bill Belichick took Sonny Michel? I can tell you why. He's very physical, north-south runner. He doesn't lose yards, and he protects the ball. He doesn't fumble it a lot. Sonny Michel's a good player. Now, I don't know what they're going to do in their committees. Ronald Jones is not a good player. Ronald Jones does not pass block. He does not catch the ball. You're hoping that he breaks one open, but he's looked so bad in the preseason. He's not even the backup running back now. He's the third-string running back. I don't even know if he's going to get carries in the first game. So, are you taking another high upside play? You are. Are you hoping one of these rookie running backs turns into a number 2 running back? I think that's your plan. Do I love the plan? I don't hate it, but man, that's pretty risky. I think Jones is gonna turn out to be fool's gold. I think if any of them hit, it might be Sonny Michel. I think the Patriots might have some injuries. Kerryon Johnson's a good player, but Detroit doesn't run the ball enough, and the Bucs are terrible in the first place. And even if they weren't terrible, Ronald Jones doesn't see the field anyway. He doesn't see the field on a terrible team. That's not a good player. So I guess you're hoping Sonny Michel turns into your number 2 running back, because if he scores touchdowns, it'll all be worth it. But man, these are some tough picks you've made. I don't know what you were doing. There were better players on the board. You should have taken a wide receiver or something, man. Like Josh Doxson, Kenny Golladay. There were some good players, good talent on the board you took. And you took this guy. Ugh. Next pick, you took Jameson Crowder. All right. Thank you. You're finally a little consistency. So, I like Crowder. Alex Smith throws it short. We joke about his arm. He doesn't have one. Crowder will create separation. He's probably one of the best slot wide receivers in football. That alone makes him valuable. So I could see Crowder getting a lot of touches out of that Washington offense, because frankly, with Darius Geis gone and Adrian Peterson now being the running back, mysteriously coming back, I could see Crowder being possibly the number 1 receiver in that offense. So I think Crowder, you've taken all of these rookie running backs hoping one of them hits, and I think Crowder has a better chance of hitting than any of them, which is kind of funny to me. So I like the Crowder pick. Funny enough, super consistent, slot guy, catch the ball, good player. And then we got into the whole defensive thing. I don't really know if you know what you're doing with defense, because you took 2 safeties, and I don't know why. Rashad Jones, I had him last year. Great safety. Lots of tackles. Probably the number 1 safety in our league. Keanu Neal's taking form. I think there's not much difference. Landon Collins taking nearby him. Another great safety. Those are the 3 guys at safety. Really good pick. Next pick, you took Budda Baker. And now you're starting both. Having a safety is really good. A really good safety is valuable. Having 2 is not, because I can just pick up a linebacker and just start them for the other safety and get probably more points. So I don't know if that really gelled with you. I don't know if you're, maybe you're running double safety like Eileen this year. I have no idea. But I think you should cut one and just get a linebacker, man. I don't know why you're starting them both. That's weird. DJ Moore, next pick. I like DJ. He's got a lot of talent. I don't like Cam Newton. I don't like that offense. But, again, you're taking talent. You took another rookie. So, he, I thought, was the best wide receiver in this draft class. He's explosive. He had over 1,000 yards last year. He runs a 4.40. He's only 21. In an offense with Torrey Smith, Devin Funchess, Curtis Samuel, I don't know if he's going to get enough snaps. But at this point in the draft, I'm comfortable with just taking an upside play for a rookie wide receiver. So at least, at this point, what is this? What round is this? Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is this the 12th round? Take a shot in the dark. The guy's got talent. I'll give you that. I like that. I like DJ Moore. Ugh, man, you take a running back now, and I don't like him. You took Rob Kelly, fat Rob Kelly. All right, you're a better running back, Ryan, than Rob Kelly is. I've seen you run. All right, fat Rob Kelly can't run.
he had a good like rookie season, I suppose, because he could like run up the middle, and he was averaging like 4 yards per carry. But I don't know what it is about him, but like he is not good at breaking tackles, and he doesn't keep himself in shape. I call him Fat Rob Kelly because he's constantly out of shape. He doesn't take good care of himself. And Adrian Peterson's there, and Samaje Perine's there. I think you can cut Fat Rob Kelly because I don't. If Adrian Peterson gets hurt and Samaje Perine gets hurt and Darius Geis is already hurt, and you told me Rob Kelly's a starter, I probably would still be leery of him because the dude's slow and fat and he doesn't play very well because he doesn't take good care of himself. So, like, I feel like it was just a wasted pick, but, maybe he'll get carries because you need running backs, but, I hate Rob Kelly. Let's see, took Danielle Hunter, defensive line, plays for Minnesota, gets a few sacks, really comes around the edge. They cut Brian Robson, so he should get some run. He's healthy, decent defensive lineman. Avery Williamson, I like him. Ooh, I like him a lot. Why can't you take linebackers like him? Why'd you take double safeties but not take more linebackers like Avery Williamson? He's going to get a lot of play in that Jets defense because with that poor rookie kid Sam Darnold being the quarterback, they're going to see the field quite a bit. So good pick. Bruce Irvin, boy, we're taking a lot of defense, man. Why are we taking Bruce Irvin? So like, Irvin's a good defensive end. He should get some play now that Khalil Mack's out of Oakland, I guess. But if my math is right, you have two safeties, Rashad Jones and Budda Baker, and you have two defensive linemen, Danielle Hunter and Bruce Irvin. But you only have one linebacker. That's not how you typically like. I'm not starting Bruce Irvin as my defensive player flex guy. I'm not starting Budda Baker as my defensive player flex guy. I'm picking up literally anyone who's a linebacker who's going to get more points than both those guys. I don't know what you're doing. Like, you should just cut them. There's no reason to keep them on your team when you already have able-bodied starters, unless you want depth at defense for whatever reason. But you need to pick up something at wide receiver. I don't know. And Unwa from the Jets, pick him up. I don't know, but you're wasting depth. Speaking of wasting depth, why do you have Corey Coleman? You know what happened to Corey Coleman? He just got cut. He doesn't even have a team. Literally, he got traded by the Browns to the Bills. And the Bills cut him despite the fact his contract is guaranteed. So they literally trade away like a pick to take on this guy, to cut him, and they still owe him $2.5 million. So they literally trade away a pick to pay someone $2.5 million to not play for them. Another, you have 3 players at the back end of your roster you can cut today for free because they don't do anything. They don't add any value to your team at all. Cut him. Graham Gano is a decent kicker. So, this is why Brian has a better draft than all of the other out-of-town guys. I don't love your draft, Ryan. It's very hit or miss. Like, you start out really hot, but then you went super cold. And, like, I don't love all this. You're really reaching for upside, and I appreciate going for upside, but you really need to lay a foundation first if you want to do that. It doesn't matter, like, the second floor of a house can be beautiful. If the foundation's no good and it collapses, it doesn't matter. So, if I have to give you a grade, like I gave Brian a C+, Patrick a B. This is a C-. It's a little below average. Because while your star receivers are really good, you might get like 4 points out of your flex and your second running back. You have little to no depth. You have players on your team you could cut right now because they don't matter. Like, this was not a good draft. I don't know what you were doing here. I mean, I guess you were reaching for some of these guys, or you were playing for upside, and you're hoping one of those rookie. Credit to you. You got all the rookie running backs, so, chances are one of the three's got to hit. But like, I'd rather just take a risk on one and get some consistency, man. Because like, you need starters. I mean, you're gonna turn over half this roster before like week 2 or 3 because it's just not good. The back end of your roster is not good. You could cut it right now. It doesn't matter. So it's a C minus. The only reason it's not lower is because I really like the top end of your draft. But man, this is a tough pill. I don't love this. I don't love this draft, man. Boy, Ryan, I don't know what you're doing, buddy. You need to make the playoffs, and you gotta do better than this.